Okay, let's get more now on the breaking news out of New York. Sean Diddy Combs denied bail after he was found guilty on 2 of 5 charges in his sex trafficking trial.
Yeah, the music mogul blowing kisses to his family in the courtroom, saying, "Be strong," before being led back into detention.
Former federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, Nima Rahmani, joins us now with the very latest. Nima, thanks for your time on this. It's been a circus, predictably, at the courthouse this morning. Can you explain this verdict for us?
Sylvia, this is nothing less than a complete and total loss by the prosecution. They're calling it a mixed verdict, but I can tell you now this is the most expensive prostitution trial in American history. Combs was acquitted of the much more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, and really the writing was on the wall. First, a juror, really in the first hour, said that he didn't want to deliberate. So that was clearly a defense juror, probably thought 2 months of his time was wasted. And then when jurors came back yesterday with a verdict on 4 of the 5 counts, including sex trafficking, I knew the sex trafficking was going to be a not guilty. I posted this and predicted this on my X yesterday. And the reason is this: that's a tough charge, and there's plenty of evidence of consent, the emails and text messages from Cassie Ventura, the social media posts by Jane, Mia, and then Jane, the last victim, taking gifts, jewelry, bags. She's even still getting her rent paid by Diddy. So I knew that was a tough charge, and a quick verdict is usually a defense verdict. So the only path to victory here was racketeering. I thought maybe, just maybe, the jurors could get there. They were deadlocked on this count, but there was the path that maybe the jurors would find him guilty of racketeering because of bribery or extortion or arson or kidnapping, some of these non-sex related crimes. And apparently there were some jurors who were willing to convict as of yesterday evening, but this morning, New York time, they had to change their heart and they came back not guilty pretty quick. So huge victory for the defense and a significant loss for the Southern District of New York, the most prestigious prosecutors in America.
Given all that, then, did you expect Combs to be denied bail?
I was surprised Judge Subramanian denied bail. We're talking about prostitution here, and it's not a serious crime. You know, I put more than 1,000 people in federal prison. I could tell you that I never charged the Mann Act. I don't think any prosecutor in America would have charged Combs with prostitution alone. And even if they had, I don't think any judge would have denied bail. I think some of this is sour grapes by the prosecutors. They're trying to backdoor some of this evidence of force or coercion to try to get an increased sentence. Look, I believe the victims, but if you come for the king, you better not miss. And this was a huge miss by prosecutors. They should respect the jury verdict. I think the defense will appeal that denial of bail. Mark Agnifilo gave a press conference saying he's not done. Expect to see him in the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and I wouldn't be surprised if a judge releases Combs, and I'm sure the defense doesn't want to wait till the October 3rd sentencing.
Well, when it comes to sentencing on October 3rd, what punishment is he likely to face?
Well, if you're looking at just prostitution, not a whole lot, about 21 to 27 months. He's already been in for 10 months. He gets some credit for time served already. I would expect little to more additional time. Now, the prosecution is asking for a lot more, 4 to 5 years in prison, and they're getting there through force, through coercion. Now, technically, legally, the judge can consider uncharged conduct or even acquitted conduct when imposing a sentence. But that's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. That's sour grapes by the prosecution. This is why people think Combs is being railroaded or treated unfairly. Again, I believe the victims, but the jury has spoken, and verdict in Latin means the truth. You got to respect that verdict. So I would be surprised if Combs gets significant time at that October sentencing.
Some of this testimony was damning, though, and there's obviously been mistakes in the prosecution. Could this case have progressed in court without Cassie's testimony?
I think there were many mistakes by the prosecution, starting with Cassie. I don't think they really appreciated how damaging her emails and text messages were. If so, they should have gotten them out during her direct examination instead of letting her get beat up metaphorically. That's a bad analogy. During her cross, the defense spent 2 days just reading her emails and text messages into the record. Then you have victim Mia, who didn't report the sexual assault to law enforcement. She didn't even tell prosecutors during her initial meetings with them. And she's posting on social media saying how much she loves Diddy and this is her brother. And again, Jane, she was the one that was getting money from Combs. She's getting her rent paid. She's getting jewelry. She's getting bags. She's getting trips. And I think the jurors inferred that she was in a transactional relationship. She knew what she was getting herself into. But the prosecution, I think, made a number of fatal mistakes. Probably the most important of which was not calling Christina Coram, KK, or D-Rock. That's Combs's right-hand woman, his chief of staff, and his head of security. They were actively involved in some of these racketeering acts. So prosecutors should have charged them, leaned on them to flip against Combs. Big mistake failing to do so.
Well, Nima, always good to get your expertise on these matters. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.